Okay, good morning, everyone. I am very glad to have Ankur here with us today on the forum of SAP 2020 Bioescalator. I am happy to tell you all that Ankur is my old student. He is the first batch passed out of ILM whom I had taught here in 2009. So bioprocess engineering, he has also studied from me. Right, Ankur?
Yeah, yeah.
Theirs was a batch, and he has done very good after ILM. He went ahead to do his masters from United Kingdom. Then he has been working as a expert programmer of bioinformatics in MedGenome Labs, Kochi. And then he went to Singapore for Singapore Center for Environmental and Life Science Engineering, NTU. And he has joined Genes to Me, Gurgaon, as a senior application scientist in February 2020. He has extensive exposure in bioinformatics and NGS technologies. So you'll be benefited a lot from his introduction on bioinformatics and NGS. Welcome, Ankur.
Thank you, ma'am. Greetings to everyone. This is Ankur this side. See, I just now went, I was also in the same session with you guys for that bioprocess, so I won't be like giving you a detailed description of anything about bioinformatics. I'm just going to give you a brief introduction as to what bioinformatics is doing for growth in terms of genetics and how bioinformatics and NGS technologies are what the future holds. Uh, as you will be going more and more into your studies further, you will be hearing two different terms: wet lab and dry lab. Wet lab is everything that you do normally in the labs, and dry lab is computer related. That is where bioinformatics comes into picture. Before we start into anything else, I just wanted to like go through basic definitions with you all. DNA sequencing, it's like determining what is the complete sequence for the sequence for a genome. A genome would basically mean the entire human genome would be the entire sequence as to the division for the entire person. How can we define a person? How is it different from the other person? We all know what is DNA, which is basically a hereditary material in humans, which is passed from one parents to their offsprings and all of that. Then I will talk about a little bit about NGS, which is mainly helping in determining the entire human genome. When I'm talking about human genome or I'm talking about genome for a species in general, we are talking about data in terms of GBs, which can go up to TBs also. That is more than 1000 GBs at times. That is one of the, see with NGS, we are able to like work on in data in terms of TBs now, and also at times of petabyte also, which is like 1024 TBs. NGS has helped us in working with huge big data, and we are able to like work on a lot of stuff. I'll go through one of the things. I'll go through one of the things about where NGS is involved towards the end of my presentation. Bioinformatics, which is basically a mixture of biology with information technology, whereby it is acting like an interface between computer and biology. Like that is, whatever be the information that we might be getting about, we want to understand about a person. If we have gotten the blood sample itself, from the blood sample itself, we can understand the person, or we can determine if the person is suffering from any particular disease or not. That disease could be hereditary, that is carried forward from their parents, or it could be something novel. Like recently, like we have been going through that COVID-19 and all. So novel virus only it is. We were able to only determine it once we got to understand the sequence of it. Basically, bioinformatics is utilizing different information technologies techniques. Like normally, whatever you will be studying in your first year of engineering. I mean, I don't know how much is the curriculum changed, but the first year of engineering, there used to be a lot of classes on data sciences. We studied a little bit on OOPS and all those technologies as well. So that's what we involve in bioinformatics only. Bioinformatics basically would be, in broader terms, we can say it's divided into four main branches: genomics, proteomics, metabolomics, and pedigree analysis. Genomics, by the name itself, can we say in terms of genome structure, the functionality of particular regions or functionality of particular gene, how it helps a human being, or how is it useful. Uh, if you guys don't mind, I'll just finish it and I can just discuss, take up your questions and all. Thanks. Proteomics basically would mean understanding the functions and the structures of different proteins. Metabolomics is again studying metabolic pathways. With this, I'm talking only in terms of informatics over here. I'm not going into the biology of it. And then pedigree analysis, which is like, if you guys hear a lot about it, there are a lot of companies on working on ancestry projects whereby we are trying to find out where your ancestry starts from and all. So that is what a pedigree analysis is all about, trying to find the ancestry. So far, one example for pedigree analysis I can tell you is that the European population is not necessarily from Europe. Most of them belong to the Indus Valley region, or mainly from India is where the population growth has happened across the world. So if we go further down the pedigree analysis, if we do for a particular human being, we might find some Asian connection over there. Now, where does NGS technology comes into picture? NGS basically involves, what we'll do in the NGS technologies, we just take a drop of blood. It will allow researchers to do in various type of experiments on that drop of blood itself. And that can help in determining what sort of disease the person might be affected from. And see, if we are talking about disease, like let's take an example, like something related to your nerve diseases, neurological diseases. Broadly speaking, neurological disease itself is associated with close to 600 genes. To understand those, to understand which particular gene is going to affect it, is going to take a lot of time and effort. What NGS does is it will help us to determine the particular sequence, will the sequence the particular area that we want to focus on, and study that area, and we might be able to determine what particular variation is happening, which is causing an issue. So there might be a case like we have got 1,000, broadly speaking, like as an example, we have got 1,000 bases, A2, GC, AT, GC, 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 like that, 1,000 bases we have got. When we are comparing it with the reference human genome, there might be like only just one position is different. To find that particular position which is different is what NGS is helping us into it. What can NGS do? Basically, we can do a whole genome. We can rapidly sequence the whole genome, understand it, look into particular, like I spoke about this neurology disease, look into particular region only, and then study it further and further till we don't get what
Is he disconnected? Ankur, are you there?
His voice is not there. He's connected, he's there.
Yes. I think there is some net problem, Ankur. Your screen is not coming.
Yeah. So I was talking, NGS basically can do, we can like look into rapidly sequence the whole genome, look into particular region in terms of like I was talking about neurology and all, do RNA sequencing as well, which is another technique that NGS has enabled us to do it more easily. We can look into different protein-based interactions. I mean, in terms of drug discovery and all, like you might have recently heard about different vaccines being prepared. NGS is helping in that as well. We can also study rare tumor variants in a cancer patient sample. We can actually, we might not have to go for chemotherapy in such cases. We might directly be able to cure the disease itself. And we can also do different sort of microbial diversity, study those diversities. We can basically sequence air in itself and try to understand how different microbes are interacting with it. That was one of my projects while I was there in Singapore. So how NGS and bioinformatics has come into picture? We are when NGS sequencers are able to give us large amount of data, what we can do is we can develop. I mean, this involves a lot of programming skills, coding, and all. So we can develop a pipeline in itself, which can help us in analyzing the data. I'll talk about some of the tools that we can use to analyze that data, and that those tools can be locally installed in your own system, and you can work on that. We can also what we can do is basically pretty sure I'm not sure if you have studied about this, but there are a lot of the data that we normally get from sequences is in terms of FASTA file. Basically, FASTA file, what it will have this DNA sequence that we want to study, and it will also give us different quality scores that are based on different. There's a thing known as ASCII characters. So based on those scores, we'll get those quality scores. Basically, what ASCII characters are different. Your hashes, your at the rates, apostrophes, all those symbols, they represent different scores. What we normally aim at is any score above 30. By score, what I mean is, suppose if you've got 1,000 lines to read, what we want to check is out of those 1,000 lines, only 3 should give any error rate, should have an error rate of 3 or less than 3 on those 1,000 lines. If it is more than 3, those reads we can discard out. We can, once we have the filtered out, when we have the good quality reads with us, we can then align it to our reference genome. Need not necessarily be our human genome. This pipeline that we can develop that can work on all the different genomes also, as long as we have the sequences with us, or we can develop a genome sequence in itself. There's a thing known as de novo assembly tool, which can help us in understanding, developing that particular genome tool. Once we have once we are able to align the data to it, and once we are able to align our data to the reference genome, then each position through bioinformatics, different tools that we use, we can study each tool to get an idea as to where there might be a variation that is occurring. Now we have gotten different databases that we can also incorporate into our pipelines, whereby those databases would be reporting particular regions, which are like common for everything, that this is expected, these are not expected lines. So that can be ignored. Now the world is divided into several different populations. So the reference genome that we might have for the Indian population will definitely be different from that for say British population or for US population who have got blonde hair. That's known as Caucasian population. So to identify those, the reference genome will keep it the same, but the database which can determine whether this particular variant is common to this population or not is different for that. Since NGS, combination of different tools to get an answer to determine different variants answers a lot of different biological questions that we might have, because we'll be able to compute those particular answers. We can look into, we can check this, we can study it technically as well as statistically to find out if the particular thing is of any significance or not. And whatever be the significant data that variants that we might be getting, we can also study it in different gene wise and all, and also like study different compared to different other genomes. By other genomes, I mean different versions of the same species. Like for human beings, right now, we are working only currently, I think on HG19 we are currently working on, but the next version, which is known as GRCH38, that is also almost ready and can be brought up in production and can be brought up in analysis as soon as the databases are getting updated on a daily basis. We are on that. And of course, through bioinformatics, whatever data we have, we can always put it in different graphs. And as a bioinformatician, I can tell you reading graphs is more easy than reading long biological reports on that. Some of the different basic bioinformatics tools that we can locally install on our servers, not necessarily servers, on our own local systems, include FastQC. It also includes a tool known as BWA, which is basically gonna align our sample to the reference genome, then there are a couple of tools which can help us in study. Like whenever we align it, it gives us into a format which is known as SAM file. SAM file basically will contain your entire reference genome, how many bases it is matching to your reference genome for each read. So how to understand that, visualize that, because if I'm talking about SAM file, I'm talking about data in GBs, which can go to 20, 30, or at times 60 or 100 GB as well. So SAM tools can help us in visualizing that particular region of interest that we are looking at, and to find out if a particular variant, is there a particular variant or not, or how we can quantify that variant, or say this particular variant is of any significance. There's a tool known as GATK. This tool is particularly developed by Broad Institute based in UK. You can locally download it using your institutional email ID and not your personal one in that case, because they need it to be registered for that. There are different brands which are associated with this particular bioinformatics side of things, or looking into NGS technologies, including PacBio, Roche. Illumina itself has provided a lot of sequencers. Like if you talk about, then of course there are other, not just sequencers in Illumina, even PacBio has its own sequencers. 10x Genomics has also come up with a particular technology whereby they're only looking at single gene at a time and can work on that itself. Like I said, recently, if you go through different headlines and all, role of NGS and role of DNA in terms for COVID-19 has been in the news, and that is something that being a bioinformatician, it's a proud achievement for us. I think I'm done with my slides. So basically, I didn't wanted to talk or discuss with you on in terms of technicality. I just wanted to let you guys know that it's very important that if you are in biotechnology, you have to always think about how to improve further. Biotechnology is not just about engineering कर लिया and आगे नौकरी में जाना. It's always about I have to study further. So that's what I basically wanted to talk to you guys about. If there are any questions and all, I'll be more than happy to take them.
Roma, unmute the participants. They can ask. Malvika is asking. You are muted. You are muted yourself.
Okay. Hello, sir. Can you please explain how NGS helps in gene differential expression?
Okay. See, there's a tool known as when you're looking into different genes, there are R packages. You understand R?
R programming.
Yeah, R programming. Yes. So there are different packages in R, whereby you can specify, you can give in your input your FASTA or your align file, and you can input the list of genes that you want to particularly study at. It will do an expression analysis for that and it will give you a values. It will express for that particular sample how much of the gene has been expressed and how much of the gene has been covered. So that way it can help you in understanding it further, whether this particular gene is of any interest, and if you're looking into a particular variant, and if that gene is covered in that particular variant, then you can go further with your reporting part as well as gene is of interest for me and I want to study it further.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes, students, questions?
Hello.
Bilal Siddiqui. Anshuman.
Ankur, you should stop annotation from the participants. Someone is writing on the screen, that means annotation is enabled. Or you can stop sharing the screen. You can stop sharing the screen.
I'll do that. Yeah.
Hello, Ankur sir.
Just a second. I request all the participants and the speaker to please turn on their video. Please turn on your videos. For a minute, everybody should turn on their video. All of you, Sahil, Anshika, Divya, Punyalok, Kirti Upadhyay, Vandana. Please turn on the video. Arvind, you need to see on the screen. You're looking down.
I was writing something.
Yes. Thank you. Now you can carry on with the questions.
Hello, Ankur sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Sir, my question is, like recently, in case of coronavirus or COVID-19, how next generation sequencing helps scientists to like sequence the viral genome of corona, like Ebola in past?
See, like what is done is for the patients which were suffering from this particular disease, the
Mhm.
blood sample for those particular patients were taken across.
Yes,
The
sir.
DNA was extracted from it,
Sir,
and that
how,
particular.
sir, coronavirus contain RNA, not DNA. So how?
No, so I'll get to it.
Okay.
Good
Okay.
question. So basically, DNA was extracted from the person itself, and
Okay. Okay.
DNA to RNA conversion is very easily done through transcriptome analysis
Yes, sir. Yes,
in
sir.
the NGS technologies itself. So
Mhm.
if we have the DNA of any sample with us, it is very easy to go across and do further analysis for it.
Okay.
Anything you want to study on a human being or any species, you just need a drop of blood.
Yes, sir.
That's what
Yes, sir.
NGS is telling you all about.
Mhm. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So if there's no more questions, then I'll take a leave.
Any more question from participant side?
Thank you. If there are no questions,
So
thank you so much, Ankur, for coming.
no
And
question now.
Okay. Thank you all. Thank you everyone.
you can leave.
All the
Thank
very best to you. And like I
you
Thank
so
you.
much.
bioinformatics is biotechnology is not just
Thank you,
about,
Ankur.
it's about masters, and it's about studying as much as you can. Thank you. Bye.
Okay.
Thank you.